Chapter 16 is our deadliest route map yet. Like last chapter, the map isn't very large, but the layout here forces us to wind through a long path to reach Iago. We actually need 2 separate units to make this journey, so we can pick off the other generic enemies in the east. However, this means we have to put a lot into our movement, and the units we leave behind in the west are going to need some clever positioning if we want to defeat their enemies while accomplishing our side goals. One of our goals is to get Scarlet 2 level ups to learn Movement +1, which she can get on her blitz towards Iago. I also reclassed Hinata to Oni Savage so that he can get Shove. As we've seen with Tsubaki, XP gain is very high for underleveled units, so Hinata just needs to defeat 3 enemies to get his 2 level ups. His combat isn't spectacular, but it's enough to finish off kills, even if we have to make a few sacrifices to make it work. As usual, the units we leave behind in the starting area have some flexibility in how they team up for kills. There'll be more opportunities for Hinata's kills turns 2 and 3, so I actually take the first turn to get a little more XP on Reina, with Ryumi using the Kodachi over the Raijinto to ensure he doesn't crit and steal her kill. In contrast, the eastern group sounds pretty tight, needing to get 2 units into Iago's room by turn 3. Fortunately, we really just need 1 pair to get pushed forward, who can then separate to give us the necessary player phase actions turn 3. With the Shelter Sing, we can get 2 units refreshed, including our lead pair Saizo and Kagero, and a rescue user who can then rescue Saizo before his second action. Having Scarlet ferry this rescue user is convenient, because then she's just 1 step behind Saizo and Kagero, so she can help them break through a choke point turn 2, and then pair up with Saizo turn 3 to take his place for the Iago kill. This is both for Saizo and Scarlet's benefit, since for as strong as he is, Malignite Saizo doesn't have a great matchup against a high-leveled sorcerer, and Scarlet really wants the boss XP. As for the west, we can divide the filler combat into 3 mini-sections. The knights and heroes near our starting position, the assorted enemies in the first central hallway, and then the magical enemies in the northwest. Hinoka can use the Bolt Naginata to weaken the knights for Hinata to kill later, and get the hero kill that Ryuma safely sets up with the Kodachi. Since Scarlet separated Silas into the hallway's northern choke point, he's able to get some damage off on the Dark Mage with a javelin, setting up the kill for Tsubaki. This is important because it gets Tsubaki to reach level 10, and there's also a chance that the Dark Mage would block Silas's path to ferry Azura to the north turn 2, where she is sorely needed. All the mages in the northwest are drawn to our rescue user Korn, and it's good that they get the kill because Scarlet can then rely on attack stance for a hit boost turn 2. She can kill the strategist and still be on her way east after a Sing, but there's still 1 sorcerer and a dark mage left, and an outlaw reinforcement will show up from the stairs at the start of turn 3. Korn getting unpaired also means she could heal Scarlet if she got hit, which combined with the talisman means that Scarlet shouldn't have to rely on any dodges. I was actually able to get away without relying on the mess hall this chapter, so if you want to save the talisman, you could always have Scarlet get a resistance meal instead. Azura's death isn't actually relevant, since the Dark Mage always attacks Silas at 2 range, leaving room for Tsubaki to transfer Azura to Silas before getting the Dark Mage kill with Silas's dual strike. The important part is just that Azura doesn't have to rely on dodging the fighter. It is nice, however, if she gets hit by the sorcerer on turn 2 enemy phase, so she can unpair with Silas, giving us enough player phase actions to defeat the sorcerer, dark mage, and reinforcement outlaw turn 3. It's not strictly necessary, since it's possible for Tsubaki to help out, and if you're not trying to level up Hinata, you can replace him with someone to help out in the north as well. But since I am trying to level Hinata, Azura can fall in Korn's footsteps, as a lead support unit that dies at the northwestern choke point to separate her combat partner. Speaking of Hinata, now would probably be a good time to mention that I actually never plan to use the Shove. We already have Swap on Oboro and Shove on Rinka, and I learned from my practice run that these 2 are enough for the movement in my clears. I figured I'd still include the Hinata training arc though, since it only has a very small impact on this chapter's reliability, and I have enough heart seals available for everything else I need anyways. So if anyone discovers a turn save or a major reliability boost that comes from a 3rd Shove, then it's absolutely an option, as getting the skill pretty easily fits into the run. In setting up this fighter kill for Hinata with Rinka and Jacob, Rinka gets damaged, which will lead to the Dark Mage killing her, and even Silas is going to die in the north after Azura. Neither are necessary, but technically, Silas dying and being brought back at full HP opens up the option for him to one-round the northwestern Dark Mage with a practice katana, in case he can't use a dual strike. And then for Rinka, it's just nice that she doesn't have to dodge, since I do want her to get attacked by the Dark Mage to set up for turn 3. Apart from all these deaths, we also have Takumi, who's forcibly benched this chapter due to an illness in the story, and Kaze, who had a narrative death after last chapter, which even Phoenix mode won't revive him from. By this point, we have more than enough units that provide +1 movement on pair up, and his combat would be irrelevant, so while tragic, we must move on. One death that's unacceptable, however, is Kagero against the random fighter turn 1. They have the hilarious Great Club, which has 45 hit and 55 crit, and its critical hit multiplier is 4 rather than the usual 3. So while the fighter has less than 50 hit against Kagero, they also have around 50 crit, and we need Kagero to kill on the counterattack rather than be killed. This is only a low 20% chance for a reset, but that's actually pretty bad for individual rounds of combat by this run standards. But hey, we at least get to take the Great Club for ourselves, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, will fit perfectly with getting consistent boss kills in the future. Other than that, and the possibility for Korn and Azura to dodge all the mages in the northwest, everything works out well. Because we forced the Dark Mage to attack Rinka, we can always have Hinoka get the kill while trading the chest key she got from the hero to Jacob. He has just enough movement to reach the Goddess Icon chest, and Ryoma can get silence from killing the outlaw that had opened the room's other chest. Neither rewards are necessary, but we have to kill the outlaw anyway, and if we can get the Goddess Icon for minor reliability boost in the future, then we might as well. Just for a couple last comments, Scarlet looks like she has to dodge one of Viaga's attacks, because she just barely doesn't get a full guard gauge for enemy phase. However, his magic is halved after using Gunungugap, so Scarlet could just barely live both attacks from full HP. Then for Hinata, I only have Tsubaki pairing up with him to save on a speed tonic, in case he doesn't get strength or speed on his first level up. And, crazy enough, I did have to give him a defense tonic, because otherwise, the second night might take him below 50% HP, at which point his personal skill, Triple Threat, would activate, getting the kill without earning him the experience. But with that in mind, both Hinata and Scarlet get their second level up just as the map wraps up. Hinata's shove may not be relevant, but Scarlet's movement +1 absolutely will, and I'm really looking forward to showing off the plays it opens up going forward. And that's chapter 16 completed in 3 turns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.